Welcome to this webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. And for the next hour, we'll talk about something that we care a lot about, we're passionate about. That's digital products. In fact, we'll specifically focus on how products are being created. We have almost 500 people joining us for this event today. So thank you to all of you for taking the time and tuning into this. Hopefully you'll find the content interesting and relevant. My name is Joachim Jeppesen. I'm the CEO of Fromner. We're a digital product agency. For the past 15 years, we've been partnering with brands and companies across all industries on designing and building and continuously improving their digital products. The products that we have in market that we've created with our brand partners are reaching millions of people every single day. So that gives us a perspective that's unique and across various different industries and product areas. What makes a great product a good product? What makes it succeed? And what makes other products fail? And it's the perspective that we want to share with you today. But specifically, right now, there's a shift happening in digital products. AI is going to be reshaping how products are being built in a significant way. And so what happens when products can be created at speed? That's the focus for today, the question. So in a situation where products can be built much faster or some of the processes, what makes a product win over another? With me today is Vilas, Commercial Director, and Oscar, who is our business designer and who works with companies across all industries on their product development lifecycle. During the webinar, please ask some questions in the chat or in the questions section, and then we'll get to the answers at the end of the webinar. And you can also engage with the polling that's going to be running on your screen, and then makes the webinar a little bit interactive. Without further ado, welcome to the webinar. I'm going to hand this off to Oscar and Vilas.
Thank you, Joachim. And I think we're going to start this actually by considering a little bit of like what is going on last year. Because I remember the first time I got my hands on ChatGPT. And it sparked something within me. It was a feeling that this is actually going to change things. And I felt the change at the tip of my fingers. And I think many of you who are listening here today had a similar experience when you first interacted with ChatGPT, when you saw the intelligence come to life. Well, throughout the last months within the product development industry, I would say that something similar has happened that can resemble this ChatGPT moment. And I think that many of you who are listening here today actually felt this as well. But if there are any people here who really hasn't experienced this or are not fully convinced that things are changing, let me provide you with some examples. So let's first start with Lovable. I think everybody has heard about this company, one of the fastest growing software as a service companies of all time. But what we do not actually talk about that much are the numbers that are behind them. So Lovable released the numbers that they are actually starting. It's starting 100,000 projects daily within Lovable. I mean, that's an astounding number. When you think of that, that means it's like 1 million new projects being started like every 1.5 weeks. So the number of ideas that's being tested, prototyped, and built now is higher than ever. And we know that maybe not all of these ideas and prototypes is going to turn into actual products, but the accessibility to actually trying these new ideas is something different. I think we had some problems with the slides going. I think we need to go back a little bit longer. Sorry for this. A little bit of preview from what is coming. So we also see change within larger companies. Like At Spotify's fourth quarter earnings call in February, they announced that their most senior developers hasn't written a single line of code since the release of the new coding models in December of 2025. But it's pretty interesting because they put the emphasis on the best and the most senior engineers using this. And we might come back to a little bit later why this is the case. We can also speak from our own experience. We at Framna, we have teams already working with agentic coding with similar results that we write very, very little code in certain teams now. And we can also see like a new era of companies being launched. I think it's interesting to look at a company called Trust MRR. It was a developer that saw a tweet go viral about the issue with startups' monthly recurring revenues. And he had an idea how to solve this. So he took his own developer kit, he built the product in 24 hours, launched it, and launched it with a tweet. Within 3 days, he had made $20,000 solely on advertisement income from this idea. I think it's fair to say that we're actually entering a new era of product development. And at Framna, we really, really value and cherish the product development community and the openness that we have toward the changes coming. So this is one of the reasons why we host this webinar today. Because, I mean, let us be clear, very, very few people know what the future will be about, how this is going to change, and what it's going to turn, like how this is going to turn out. But for this webinar, we're sharing our thinking right now on this topic. We believe that if we're more open within the industry and talk more about these kind of things, that what we're learning and what we're struggling with, then our product will be better, and we will build better things for people who actually use them. So today, we're going to go through some of our own data about product development organization. We will deeper into what makes a good product win, and also look a little bit between like the balance in between AI and human judgment. And with that said, I'm handing over